A couple other players are available as well now that it's the start of NBA trade season. Myles Turner and CJ McCollum. I asked this question a little while ago, both on Twitter and in the YouTube community tab. So if you have not answered this question, go to the community tab and go and answer the question. Would you rather have CJ McCollum or Myles Turner? Because it's just so fascinating to me that both these guys, they're like talent-wise, they're probably on the same level or like a similar level. They're not all-star players. They're probably never going to be all-star players, but they're at that next level where Myles Turner may be the most underrated defensive player in the NBA. There's people say he's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. CJ McCollum's a really good, creator and really good shooter and really good scorer. He's been that way for a long time, a really good number 2 scorer. So you put both these guys sort of at the same level. Which one would you rather have?
I've went back and forth on this so much. It's such a good, I asked him, hey, let's talk about it on pod because I think it was a great poll thing you put out because I think the trade packages are different because, just being honest here, to get CJ, you're giving up Porzingis. And because I think it makes more sense, one, money-wise, it's $30 million. CJ makes around 30.
It's like almost exactly both of those guys.
Yeah, and the Blazers would ask for KP, then they could do a stretch 5 type thing, try something different with Dame and all that stuff. KP's not playing for Rick, so KP's not in a Myles Turner thing, and so the Myles Turner trade would look different.
It would have to be like Tim Hardaway and then maybe Powell plus something else on the, say they send Jeremy Lamb back or something like that. That's what it'd have to be for the Mavs.
So I think I want to flip it back on you and say which is the bigger upgrade, Tim to CJ or Dwight Moses to Myles Turner? Because here's the different thing. For the Tim CJ thing, yes. For the Tim CJ thing, like CJ brings a little bit more playmaking, right? Like there's still
he does.
He can run pick and roll. He handles the ball.
Yes,
he gives you your secondary creator.
Right.
It's kind of like a mashup of like Brunson and Tim together.
Yes, but then, and more consistent than both of those guys.
Yes. Now, he is struggling with health stuff right now. Yep. I think some of his percentage, he's shooting 39% from 3 this year so far, 40 last year. But then you look at the Myles Turner thing. One, he's a Dallas guy. Tweeted out the little home thing after the game the other night.
I can't believe that he's not on the Mavs since he's like from Dallas.
Down the street from the Mavs. Did they even scout him at Texas and in high school? Makes me sick.
I'm just gonna hit that buzzer every time I trigger
that,
you.
I will never. That will be a running joke for as long as we do this pod together. So. Remember the hey, but did he block it and it stay inbounds?
That is a real. If you get that joke, you are a real day one.
That was like solid days. Here's the thing: both of those guys I think would be great Mavs, and which one I think it depends on the day for me because there's one side I'm like, man, I would love to have Myles Turner down low, rebounding. He can hit the 3-2. And then it's like, I would love to have CJ at the end of games and to be able to offset Luka and that secondary creating all of that. I think if I have to lean a certain way, I think I would probably lean CJ.
Yeah, it's like all the stuff we said about Kyrie, just on a little bit of a lower level, right, for CJ. Yeah. Just all the things that it would bring with Luka. They could play together, the scoring, the playmaking, all that kind of stuff. But you look at the Myles Turner end. Wouldn't it be really nice just to have a rim protector for once?
Well, so much of it factors on too of like what the roster looks like because I'm factoring. Yeah, I'm gonna go against what I've said because
you just go back and forth. It seems like.
Well, I was about to say I'm factoring in that KP would still be on the team, and I'd rather add CJ to that instead of running this double big type thing. But then I just said that to get CJ, you probably have to give up KP and all of that. Right. So I'm kind of going against what I was saying. But then it's like if you're telling me that they turn KP into another creator, then and Myles Turner would be the only big, then I typically in my basketball fandom, I typically lean towards one big. That's what I prefer. So I think Myles Turner is the only big, and I would like to see him sometimes without. He's played with Sabonis forever.
Yeah,
and I love if the Mavs could get Sabonis now.
That's a different story. You do that.
Now, sign me up. I like all these guys. Like, there's not all three of these, Sabonis, Myles Turner, CJ McCollum. I'm here for all of those rumors. Let's talk about those. I like them.
Sabonis also lots of hand over mouth talking to the Mavericks after the Pacers game the other day. Lots of talking to KP
How
and
many
Luka and
over
Boban
under 4.5 mentions of Rick Carlisle in those conversations?
In those conversations, I almost said Saboban. Sabonis goes up to Luka and is like, "Hey, so like, is he always like this?" He goes up to
Rick
KP.
asked you to play Connect 4?
Yeah. He's like played the piano for you, right? He goes up to KP and is like, "So like, you would just stand in the corner all the time?"
Myles Turner's like, "That's what I did." Myles Turner is the DiCaprio meme, like pointing like,
yeah, from what was that movie?
Or actually, it's reverse. It's Porzingis doing this like to Myles Turner. Like,
to Myles Turner, like, I get you, I understand you. Yeah, that was me.
That's how he's using me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's a lot. I think this could be an entire pod we'll probably have at some point. These two before these guys get traded. Which one would you rather have, CJ or Myles Turner? It's a huge conversation. Which one is more gettable? There's lots of stuff to have. We'll have that later in the week. But guys,
and I do think realistically, Myles Turner would be more likely than CJ McCollum
because he's literally out there in trade rumors right now.
He's out there in trade rumors. I think that for all the jokes, Dallas guy. Rick coaching in Dallas, we know that there are some people on Dallas's roster that Rick really likes. Does Rick look at Dallas's roster and say, man, I like to bring some of those personalities, locker room, great people to this, Indiana team. Some of the same assistant coaches with Mike Weiner and Jenny.
Think about what the community would be like if Dwight went up there.
I didn't.
Community would be taken to another level.
But like that's why I think it's more likely between the two different. And I would be thrilled if Myles Turner came to Dallas. He would be great.
I agree. I do feel like it's I waffle back and forth as to who has more value right now. Like immediately I want to say CJ, but yeah. I've heard some talks about CJ not having a lot of trade value right now, and then he's hurt too, and
wasn't there reports last year that like Indiana tried to trade Myles Turner? There just wasn't a big market and stuff.
That's true. Though they tried to trade him to the Celtics for Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, and I think if Portland really put CJ out there, I think they could get some things.
The thing is, Portland's trying to outkick their coverage. Like they're trying to like punch up and get Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum.
Well, they're not punching.